Hi, I'm Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times on Monday, January 5th with news from Arkansas. We'll call it Arkansas news that a former Arkansas resident who now lives in Florida left his Fox TV show Saturday. That would be Mike Huckabee, our former governor, who said he needed to leave Fox News because he's exploring a race for president. I suspect he was urged out by Fox News, which had to have grown increasingly uncomfortable with his obvious moves toward making a presidential race while occupying a talk show on the network on Saturday night. I think he is looking to run. I think that with Jeb Bush in the race, he had to make a decision soon. It won't be an easy road for him. There's still questions about whether he can raise money. Media Matters for America did a funny piece this morning that talked about how readily he'd sell advertising time to some of the most disreputable advertisers imaginable. More concern for Mike Huckabee, I think, is the fact that the Club for Growth, the ultra-conservative business group that has had an enmity toward him for at least 14 years, welcomed him to the race with a blast on his tax and spend record as a big government conservative, something that I heard the Wall Street Journal editorial page editor repeat in some analysis he did over the weekend. But Mike Huckabee's a formidable opponent for any candidate. He's a good speaker, glib, has quite a record to work on, and he's piled up that record as a media commentator. His made-for-TV lines sometimes can be boiled into some pretty damaging sound bites. The thing about Dr. Sugar and women being unable to control their libido and wanting to have birth control pills comes to mind. I think the libido that's in problem in that relationship is more the men's than the women's. In any event, back to Little Rock. An interesting dispute broke out over the weekend. Leslie Fiskin, a member of the Little Rock School Board, who's often in the minority on votes before the Little Rock School Board, sent a letter to the chair of a committee that's going to have a meeting at the State Board of Education this week on the problems of academic achievement in some Little Rock schools. She says the school board is dysfunctional, that they're rude, they're arrogant and condescending, and mainly that they don't vote the way she wants them to vote. It was not exactly a way to build friendship with the other board members. It happened to come out at a time when John Riggs, a former school board member and state senator, wrote an op-ed piece for the Democrat Gazette about his belief that it's time for the state to take over the Little Rock School District. He's written about this before. We've written about his thoughts on this, perhaps 6 months ago. Is there a movement underway to make this happen? I think that is underway. I don't think these events occur in a vacuum. I think there's a concerted effort underway in the business community to try and remove the Little Rock School Board and perhaps put it in a receivership with the current Superintendent Dexter Suggs in charge. This will cause a huge amount of furor. For one thing, the state can't very well take over Little Rock on the grounds of a few schools not meeting academic standards when there are other districts in the same circumstance. In state government today, Asa Hutchinson said that he would promote Wendy Kelly, who's currently a chief deputy director of the Arkansas Correction Department, to be his correction department director, a woman in charge of the big prison system. That's a stroke for women's equality for sure, and actually a woman's already in charge of the community correction department in the state. Another piece of news about a famous Arkansas woman, Colette Honorable, the chairman of the Arkansas Public Service Commission, has resigned from that job because she has official confirmation that she's going to join the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. This will give Mike Beebe an appointment on the Public Service Commission. His staff says it probably won't be until tomorrow. His chief deputy, Lamar Davis, has been mentioned as a potential contender for that job. The state government reported today that tax revenues are on the increase. The first 6 months of the year, there's about a $44 million cushion. That continues for 6 more months. That's a pretty good chunk of money toward the promised tax cut that Asa Hutchinson wants to deliver, but only if we don't do something about prisons, schools, school teacher insurance, and all the other myriad problems with state government, and never mind what happens if he doesn't continue the private option expansion of Medicaid, and some money's got to be found there. Finally, the Disability Rights Arkansas Group, which is a federally financed advocate for the rights of disabled people, issued a report today that said the Boonville Human Development Center, this is for developmentally disabled people, should be closed. It's expensive, it's in horrible physical condition, and they use restraints, both physical and drugs, far more there than they do at any other human development center in Arkansas. It's another troubling report about the state of our human services in Arkansas. It will revive the argument about whether it's better to care for people such as these in the community than in institutionalized settings. It's always an emotional topic. That's it for the news today. I'm Max Brantley. I'll be back tomorrow.